I felt like a freeloader here even before I turned up, that's to say before I knew that I had to follow through such wonderful speeches. I'm entirely disconcerted, comforted only by the fact that although I adore climbing walls. I covered your climbing wall, Craig, and I've never been invited here before, but I look forward to an invitation to come back to do the wall. Now, Craig talked about some of your objectives and your strategies, your key tenets. I was looking especially at the core skill as you define it, the core skill to find the right fit, which is exactly the core skill that I try to apply every day. All of our representatives in India try to apply to find the right fit between Australia and India. We've done it in very small part by supporting the work that you do, and a wonderful investment that is. But we also do it trying to work out how we can address the issue of scale between Australia and India. I was struck before my Prime Minister came here 2 months ago by a talk down at the University of Mumbai. The Vice-Chancellor asked me to come down, talk to a group of 20 young people, students, who were going to meet the Prime Minister and have morning tea with him. Struck by two things. First, the obvious point, how terrific they were, how smart and alert and charming, funny and clever they were. And second, by the fact that the Vice-Chancellor said to them, not all of you does mathematics, but could all of you have a think about 20 students meeting the Australian Prime Minister out of a cohort in higher education in India on any given day of 23 million students. That struck me. Mrs. Godrich referred to, Dr. Godrich referred to Apnalia. Apnalia was started by one of my predecessors, many times removed. We still support it. And few things in the city give me greater pleasure than going out to the schools at Apnalia, giving the kids books for English tuition and seeing the looks on their faces. This is what Craig was talking about. It's what I found many years ago. I used to give book gifts to schools on the West Bank. And the kids look at you because they knew in a practical sense that the books were a passport. That the books were a way forward and upward and out for them to a better life. Underpinning that practical recognition was what Craig was talking about before too, the sense of hope. The notion that your life could be transformed through books and through learning. I found that a wonderfully comforting and encouraging thing. I talked about finding the right fit. I think in education, between Australia and India, we need many of the same qualities we need elsewhere. We need patience, we need very good partners, including you, especially you. And we need, in a sense, to show our scars. We need not to talk about lessons learned or best practice or models that we have. We need to talk about what we've done wrong, as well as what we've managed to get right. Let me give you an example away from your own field of expertise. We do a lot of projects in water basin management in India, with the Godavari River Basin, with Ganga. We do that on the basis of what we've done at home with the Murray-Darling River Basin, where we've made some terrible mistakes, where we're now trying to balance claims, price water, auction allocations, do all those model scientific flows of the water, all the things which go to repair mistakes. So a lot of what we say in India, say to our Indian partners is, here are 6 things we've done, 2 of which were shocking mistakes, so please don't do those, please avoid those. Here's some things that work better, with a view to more effective career development. Career development when my brother started at school. He was only 2 years older than I. Career development involved turning up the first day of high school, 400 kids standing in the quadrangle, and the headmaster said, "Okay kids, do you want to be technical or professional in your careers? Move to that side or move to this side." I bet 99% of the kids had no idea what either of those words meant, let alone the connotations, the consequences of making a choice of that order. I went through 2 years later and they took the kids they deemed to be potentially clever, or as Billy Connolly would say, savable, and taught us 3 languages and 2 maths and music to try and turn us into Renaissance people. As you can see, in my case, that failed. But I wanted to leave you with two comments from Australians. The first is our Minister for Industry, and his title is a misnomer. Minister McFarlane handles industry and services and science and research and skills development and resources and energy. If he'd lived in this country, you would have given Sadiq Patel that portfolio. And he said to me when he was here the other day that education qualifications should be just like currency. He was talking specifically about vocational education, but he could just as easily have been talking about career education in schools. Just like currency, they should be respected. They should be able to be used. They should be able to be exchanged. They should be transported. They should be usable everywhere in the same way that a dollar bill is. I think that's part of what lies behind your career development planning. To end up with kids with qualifications, with certification, which is usable like currency. Second point, our former Prime Minister Gillard, soon after she became Prime Minister, was at an international meeting in Brussels, and somebody said to her, "Well, what do you think about this?" And she said, "Well, I'd much rather be home teaching a kid how to read." She was pilloried for that comment and sent to me entirely unfairly, because I think there's no finer or more noble thing that you can do. There's no happier or joyful thing that you can do. I have 3 grandsons. Nothing gives me more pleasure than reading with them and watching them come to know the world which is opened up through books and through learning. That's what you're doing here today. That's your core skill, to find the right fit. I encourage you in it. I'm delighted we've been able to support in a very small way what you're doing. Look forward to working with all of you. Thank you.